All right. I now am glad, I genuinely am glad to be able to do what so many of you delightful MAGA people have been telling me I should do. Talk about the Biden crimes. Talk about the Biden crimes. Let's talk about them. Donald Trump was indicted on 37 felony counts last week. And on that day, you had Fox with a front page headline about the Biden bribery. And you had Trump speaking at Bedminster talking about Biden's documents and all of these different things. So let's talk a little bit about it. We're going to talk about later about some of the allegations made by Republicans that Joe Biden has committed crimes. That doesn't really sound like due process to me, but we'll get to that in a moment. But let's talk about the new bombshell about Biden bribery. If you actually question Republicans specifically about what they are alleging here, you get them mostly to admit they don't know whether the Biden bribery tapes actually exist. They haven't spoken to one of the main people making these allegations in 3 years. Even those who are sure the tapes exist say they actually don't know if they are reputable or trustworthy. So let's talk about Biden bribery. And you are very quickly going to realize, as of right now, there isn't anything that we would call evidence. On the day of Trump's indictment, so many of you wrote to me and said, why won't I talk about this? Well, it's not that I won't talk about it. It's that we actually need to know, is there anything worthy of talking about? Here is Republican Congressman James Comer, not sandbagged by some left-wing interviewer, but interviewed on Newsmax. And he says the tapes, everybody is building this case around. He's not even sure if those tapes are legitimate.
When will you be able to confirm if these recordings are legit? How long is that going to take?
Well, I can confirm that the recordings were in the 1023. Remember, I was...
Okay, let's pause it right there. The 1023. The 1023 they are referring to is a form that asserts the existence of such tapes. It is not evidence of the tapes. What he says is the form mentions the tapes. That's like if I make a statement and I could write down on this piece of paper down here that Hunter Biden's laptop is actually, a Nintendo Wii. The fact that I've written it down doesn't mean that it is true. Okay, but let's continue.
Senator Grassley, when we saw the unredacted version.
Okay, so because Grassley was saying alleged yesterday, so these recordings are legit. You can confirm they are legitimate.
They were. I can confirm they were listed in the 1023. That
you understand that, right? He can't confirm that these recordings are legitimate. He can just say they are referred to on a piece of paper.
The FBI redacted. We don't know if they're legit or not, but we know that the foreign national claims he has them.
Exactly. We don't know if they are legitimate. This is the blockbuster that so many of our MAGA viewers are saying I'm ignoring. Okay, here is James Comer saying they haven't heard from the so-called major witness in 3 years.
With respect to the tapes, look, it mentioned in the FBI form that the oligarch had 17 tapes of Biden, 2 with Joe Biden, accepting the bribe, that he used that as an insurance policy.
This oligarch was a high-ranking member or owner of Burisma?
Yes, that is exactly right. So
have you had any contact with him?
Unfortunately, nobody's had any contact with him for the last 3 years.
Okay, so the blockbuster that I ignored on the day Trump was indicted in an extraordinarily detailed and tight indictment, per Chris Christie, that day, I am guilty of ignoring the blockbuster story in which a supposed Russian oligarch who hasn't been heard from for 3 years asserted, according to a 1023 form, that he has tapes which we don't know exist. And even if they exist, we don't know if they are legitimate tapes. Here's Marjorie Taylor Greene also admitting it. The audio is poor. She's speaking to CNN's Manu Raju here. But listen closely to what she says.
What you're paying him for. So that guy recording these audio clips was a really smart thing for him to do. And so we need to find out, does he have those recordings? I don't think we're going to find that out.
Okay, so she first says These audio recordings that were made are a really big deal. Now, does the guy have the audio recordings? I don't know, and I don't think we're going to find out. Wow, that is really quite a story, Marjorie. Really, really unbelievable. And then when you actually go through a lot of the reporting on this, you see that there is a lot of shakiness. The Daily Beast reporting, Republicans admit they don't know if the Biden bribery tapes really exist. Newsmax had an article earlier this week of Congressman Waltz saying that a blind eye is being turned to the Biden documents. We're not even really sure that the Biden documents refer to things that exist. You have an article from the New York Post. Burisma boss in alleged Biden bribe scheme claims to have 15 taped conversations with Hunter and 2 with Joe, according to Chuck Grassley. Is Chuck Grassley telling the truth? Is the guy actually a Burisma boss? Did he actually claim to have those tapes? Do the tapes exist? Are the tapes legitimate? Do the tapes even expose the alleged criminality they claim is there? And then also Fox News reporting, Burisma audio tapes could be a cataclysmic event for President Biden, according to Trump's completely weaponized, delusional former acting AG, Matt Whitaker. There is very little here, my friends. The Hunter Biden laptop. Okay, the laptop maybe is real. There were 3 MacBooks dropped off by someone to a blind repairman who couldn't actually see whose they were, but he saw a sticker on one of the MacBooks for Beau Biden's charity and said, this is Hunter Biden's laptop. It didn't really contain much other than some extraordinarily vague, unsubstantiated reference and explicit pictures of Hunter Biden himself. Not exactly a major blockbuster story. The Biden bribery tapes, do they actually exist? We don't really know right now. The Biden, quote, classified document scandal. Let's suspend that one for now because I'll dig into it a little bit later. And then Hillary's crimes. Of course, she was cleared of criminal wrongdoing, and we'll talk about that later. The one thing out of all of this that I can tell you is real is that there is a real 37-count federal felony indictment against Donald Trump. It contains photographic evidence. It refers to audio recordings. It is extraordinarily tight, according to Chris Christie. That is real. That we know exists. But these MAGA people keep writing to me and saying, David, you're not willing to talk about XYZ. I'm glad to talk about it when I have time, like today. There's just really not that much to say about it. And that's the reason I'm not giving it more coverage.